Hey, so I wanted to do a quick little video as to what I would kind of do to clean this up. I know you have another version that shows this completely grouped together as one object, but just before we get too far, and I see that this is kind of a duplicated from the top to the bottom. So what you can do is we can actually mirror. So really quickly, I'm going to delete your bottom shapes, keeping everything else. Oh, apparently I grabbed the you have this going through the whole thing. Okay, so we'll do that later. But what I would do is go to Edit Mesh, and Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop, and then I would use your shapes as a reference and just put edge loops on either side of your cross shape. So I tried to line it up. Then what we can do is you'll need ones on the edge too. So Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop, and just put it on the edges here where you've got your shape. Alright, so then we can go into object mode. I'm going to actually delete your shapes because we've made it kind of already set for ourselves. I can go into face mode. Why it's not letting me, let's see. There we go. Face mode, I'll hold shift to grab the faces, and then I'll just use my modeling toolkit over here. If you don't have this, you can go to show modeling toolkit over here, but then I can do an extrude, and then I can bring these shapes up. So however high you wanted them to be. And then we have that set. You can do the same thing for your little hooks here and for the front. So I'm going to go into object mode first. My mouse is acting weird here. Alright, so I don't know if you've thought about animation, so you may want to keep these two separate, and then I don't know if you want to have the cross on both sides or just on the top, but what we can do is you can actually move your pivot point to be back here when the time comes so that we can open and close the case as need be. So if you wanted to, let's see, I would say probably you could pick to have this brought down so that it's completely on the bottom. And then all we would need to do is insert edge loops. Same kind of thing as what we did before, here and here. And then and then we want to merge and see what we need here. So we've got still a little bit more data. You're going to need some extra edge loops. But you can start creating this and extruding from here. So I can always go insert edge loop and put it on the other side where you have the handle. And again, we're starting more low poly, so as you increase the detail, you're going to increase your poly count. But we've got this, so now I can go into face mode, grab these faces, just make sure there's only one edge here. So, nope, we got two, we're good. Just always make sure to check your poly count, so display, heads up display, and then poly count to see this. So I can go into vertex mode or edge and just click and drag and make sure that I have one vertice or one edge at every point. It's just a good check to make sure your modeling is going well. So I can select both of these, do an extrude, pull them out as far as you wanted. If you want, you can start on one end and work your way in. We can do another extrude, but just focus on rotating. Now if you notice, they rotate kind of the same way when they're selected together, so after you do it, I would go in and grab one, do the rotation, and then you could grab the other. It's going to take a little bit of smoothing, checking in multiple viewports to make sure, but you get the idea. And then eventually we can bridge these together. If you wanted to, you could use a bridge. So I deleted that front face, went into edge mode, double click to select both edges, or to select all in the loop, and then bridge. And then we've got our bridge. So again, it would need a little bit of cleaning up because right now it's a little wonky, but for the sake of this, I just want to show you what we're dealing with. Then we can select all of it, UV, let's open up our UV editor to see what we have going on here. And then I would probably do an automatic. So automatic really kind of breaks it down into a lot of unnecessary pieces. So I think what you were doing before, we could do planar. You can always select the faces that you want. So let's say and then you just need to make sure that you're also getting these. And when doing a planar, you have to be careful because these side faces are going to stretch. So it depends on what texture you're doing. If you just want it to be top down, then you might not want to select these, and we can select these from a side view, which is what I think you were trying to do before. So let me just make sure none of these are selected. Alright, so I've got that, and then I can just do UV and planar. So that's going to look really nice. I'll move that over here. Generally, I mean, we want them to fit in this first grid, but when I'm kind of creating them, I space them out so that I can see what I need to be working on. So then I can go on my bottom here and select these faces. Maybe even the bottom of the handle. It's going to be up to you as to how you want to do this, but then you can do another planar. Move this out of the way. And then you want to get anything that we can see from the side. Okay, and then you'll do a planar from that way. So you'll do all 4 sides and get it working how you want. And then your UV editor should be all set to go. So I hope this helps, and let me know if you have any questions.